In this demo, I will show you how to begin creating a new applied solution from scratch, and I will add to this empty solution a couple of catalogs and documents. If you've just started development on 1C Enterprise platform, probably the new tools cause you a lot of questions. It's not clear where to start. It's not clear how to perform even simple actions. I suggest creating a small applied solution from scratch. This will enable you to understand the basic principles of 1C Enterprise platform and to obtain initial developer's skills. The problem is very simple. Suppose our company is repairing pumps. Our customers give us broken pumps. We repair them and give them back. So we need to know what we have repaired, what we need to repair, and who our clients are. Start 1C Enterprise platform. Let's create a new information base without any configuration and then develop our own configuration. I use default name and parameters. Let's open this new info database in the designer. Open the configuration tree and first of all give a name for our configuration. Right-click configuration, choose properties from the pop-up menu. Properties pane appears. The configuration name will be repair of equipment. Look, I'm typing the name without any spaces as a single word. If I press enter or click outside the name box, the configuration synonym will be formed automatically. This synonym will be displayed in the head of the application window in the operation mode. Let's test our application. Click Tools, 1C Enterprise, or just press Ctrl and F5. Update configuration. This is our applied solution. Its name, repair of equipment, is in the head of the window. The same name is on the taskbar. Now we will not confuse our configuration with another if we have several configurations open. At this moment our solution is empty. Close it. Return to the designer and let's start customizing our configuration. We have to know what pumps have been repaired and who our customers are. Additionally, we need to know where to return the repaired pumps and catalog all equipment and our clients. Let's right-click on Catalogs, choose Add, then type the name of my first catalog, Equipment. Open Data tab and change the maximum length of the description to 100 characters. Close Catalog Properties window. And once more Catalogs, Add, Clients, Close. So I now have two catalogs, two data lists. Now let's assume that our company has several divisions, central office with main warehouse and other departments located outside the city. We have to know which department received a pump from a client and from which department it should be returned. Therefore, we need another catalogue. I create new catalogue, Warehouses. It's known that the main warehouse existed all the time and will exist later, but other warehouses can appear or disappear. So right here in the designer we will add an item to this catalogue, main warehouse item. I go to Other tab and press Predefined button. Then I'll add a new predefined catalogue item, main warehouse, and click OK. Such elements of the catalogues added directly to the configuration are called predefined. Users can't delete them in the operating mode like ordinary items because predefined items may participate in computation algorithms. Close the catalog items and close catalog window. So we have three catalogs in our configuration. Now let's do workflow. Our first business process is taking a pump from a customer. To record this operation, we'll have to fill in an appropriate document form. For example, equipment receipt form. The other action is returning the pump to the client after its repair. Therefore, another document will be an equipment returns form. In the same way, documents, add, equipment receipt form. What information is important to record during the receipting pump to repair? There are customers' names, pump models, warehouse ID, and a description of the problem. So I need to create 4 attributes for this document. Expand documents, attributes, add, and I define first attribute, client. Then I have to choose data type for this attribute. Reference to client's catalog, catalog ref dot clients. So client attribute will specify which customer brought a pump to our office. Similarly, add second attribute, attributes, add, equipment. Data type, reference to equipment catalog. Third attribute, attributes, add, warehouse. Data type, reference to warehouse's catalog. And the last, by no means the least attribute, problem description. Remember to type without any spaces. This attribute will store information from a customer about the problem with their pump. Because it's text information, I'll choose a string type for this attribute and define maximum length of this string to 250 characters. Longer characterized text is not necessary. Let's select multi-line node to show this field in the document form as a text box containing several lines. Let's select option extended edit to make possible rich text editing. Then let's add another document, equipment returns form. Its data structure will be almost the same as the previous document. The form of this new document will contain the client's name, the pump to be returned to the client, warehouse, and finally a list of operations we perform to fix the problem. Almost the same set of attributes as in the previous document. Therefore, I can copy the existing document and all that I have to change is the name of the last attribute. Right-click, clone. Let's rename this document Equipment Returns Form. I don't need to change the first 3 attributes, client, equipment, and warehouse. And I need to rename problem description attribute to service performed. Name, service performed. Okay, it seems our configuration is ready to use. We can create clients, receive pumps into service, repair them, and return them to the customer. Check it out. I press Ctrl and F5. Here's our application. You see 2 empty document lists and 3 catalogs. Let's go to the equipment catalog and create a new item, e.g. pump with serial number like this, 98723554, and predefined item already exists in warehouses catalog. In the same way, I can add new documents to the document list. Close the application window. Yes, that's right. Nevertheless, new questions will come soon. For example, how many pumps we've repaired during the last month or last year, or how many pumps are in our warehouses right now. In other words, to answer these questions, we need to construct reports. From a theoretical viewpoint, such a report can be constructed on the basis of documents. Analyzing documents enables us to represent who gave us pumps for repair and how many pumps are under repair at this present time, and then to whom and what equipment did we return. This will work as long as we do not decide to improve our configuration. Of course, some improvements will take place in the future. For example, we want to record orders more accurately by taking into consideration 2 facts. First is sending pumps to the repair department, probably not on the same day when we took the pump from a customer, but on the next day or after a few days, depending on our workload. Because the client can't arrive immediately after we've finished repairing the pump, it may be that he comes in a week or even a month later. For example, it may be due to him being on holidays. For this purpose, we need to add another 2 documents to the configuration. This means that we should change our report. because this report takes into account only 2 existing documents. To avoid processing a lot of documents for making reports, 1C Enterprise uses registers and special procedures of posting documents. Registers are used for collecting in one place all the data that is necessary to create reports. Registers store accounting data received, for instance, from documents. During the posting, documents record appropriate data into specified registers. Reports employ data stored in a special manner in registers rather than data received directly from documents. Thus, on the one hand, the task of report is to choose data from the register in a required section, and on the other hand, the task of the document is to put appropriate data into the register in accordance with the application logic. Registers process in a special way data obtained from documents in order to allow reports to obtain necessary total characteristics very quickly. Adding new documents to the configuration comes by putting the document data into the correct registers. In this case, the available reports remain unchanged. Therefore, let's add a new accumulation register to the configuration. Name it Equipment Register. I expand New Register. Dimensions of register are the sections of stored data. 3 sections will be of interest to us. The first is pumps, the second is clients, and the third is warehouses. Which clients give what pumps in which warehouses? Therefore, let's create 3 dimensions to our register. The first dimension is equipment. Type reference to equipment catalog. Client. Data type reference to client's catalog. And warehouse. Data type reference to warehouse's catalog. The recorded indicators of register are called resources. In our case, we need a resource corresponding to the quantity of pumps. Since each pump is unique, each of them has a unique serial number, the quantity of pumps can be equal to 1 when we have the pump, or 0 when this pump has been repaired and returned to its customer. Despite this, we will create a new resource and name it quantity. Double-click Equipment Register. Open the Recorders tab and select both documents. It means that our 2 documents will record data to this register during the procedure of posting this document. There remains one thing: to describe algorithms of putting data from each of both documents into the register. Documents attributes placed into a register are called register records. Let's go to the equipment receipt form. Open the Register Records tab and launch the Register Records wizard. Register name on the left means that we are customizing records for the equipment register. Option below, Receipt, shows that this record will increase the register value. Look to the right. There are available document attributes. All of them can be recorded into the register. At the bottom, we see register attributes to which we should record the appropriate values. Click the button Fill Expressions. We see that the wizard suggests taking equipment dimension from the equipment field of the document form, client dimension from client document field, and warehouse dimension from the warehouse document field. But the wizard doesn't know what should be recorded onto the quantity resource, but we know it. We have to write 1 to the quantity resource because posting an equipment receipt form document means that 1 more pump is to be repaired. Once the data values have been input via the wizard, the values are then processed into appropriate coding for the posting of the new document. Let's do the same with the other document. Open this document. Go to the Register Records. Launch the Register Records wizard and fill expressions. The only difference between the processing documents are the equipment returns form should reduce the number of pumps in the register because we return the pump to the client. Therefore, select the other option of register record, expense, and everything else is exactly the same. Therefore, the register value should be reduced by 1 during the posting of this document. The last thing we need to do is to add a report that will show us the situation with repairing pumps in general. Let's go to Reports, Add New Report, and name it Equipment Repair. The basis of any report is Data Composition Schema. So let's open Data Composition Schema. I use default name, click Finish. Any data composition schema needs to know where it should get data for the report. Therefore, click Add Dataset Query. Datasets of this type receive data from 1C Enterprise database, and what data has to be received, it is described by a query language. Click Query Builder button. Query Builder window appears. This builder enables us to construct query visually by a mouse without writing a code. Because we need data from the accumulation register, equipment register, let's expand accumulation register item. Several register tables are available. We choose the balance and turnovers table. From this table, we take all the fields except turnover field. Click Delete. I rename the quantity closing balance field to ending balance, the quantity expense field to returned to clients, the quantity receipt field to accepted from clients, the quantity opening balance field to beginning balance. Open the Resources tab of Data Composition Schema and add all the available fields to be calculated to the composition schema. To calculate the totals of these fields, Platform suggests use of automatic summation. In our case, it's suitable. Now go to the Settings tab and create a report structure, in other words, its appearance. We want to make a report for presentation of the summary data for individual clients, with the possibility to collapse or expand items to view more detailed information. For example, what pumps have been repaired for this client? Therefore, first of all, we add the grouping by client. Right-click on Report and choose New Grouping, Field equals Client. And then add new grouping within clients. We will not specify grouping field for this group and use grouping by detailed record, clients, detailed record. Enable options of beginning and end of period. Specify that the beginning of period will be the date of the beginning of this month, and the end of the period will be the date of the beginning of the next month. Let's include both options to report custom settings to allow the user to change the report period very quickly, directly in the same form of this report. First option and second option. Open Selected Field tab and choose the fields that will be displayed in a report in the following order: Client, Equipment, Warehouse, Beginning balance, Accepted from clients, Returned to clients, Ending balance. Developing configuration is almost complete. We can update the configuration database and start it in the 1C Enterprise mode. Let us assume that a customer brings his pump for repair to the main warehouse. Open the clients list and add a new client, Pump Factory. Open Equipment Receipt Form list and create new document. I choose Client, Pump Factory. Equipment, our pump. Warehouse. We already have predefined one, so choose it. Problem. Does not work at all. Let's choose the date, the 6th of May, to include this record to the monthly report. Now open the list equipment returns form and write that we had repaired this pump and gave it back to the customer on the 13th. Choose Client, Equipment, Warehouse. The necessary repairs was the replacing of the elastic coupling sleeves. What is inconvenient? When we create equipment returns form, we have to choose Client, Pump, Warehouse again, although they are exactly the same in the equipment receipt form. Moreover, when we choose a warehouse, a list of them opens in a new window. It isn't a good way because we have only a small number of warehouses, and the use of the drop-down list here is more preferable. Therefore, let's close the 1C Enterprise window, return to the designer, and make some improvements. Firstly, we define creating equipment receipt form document on the basis of pump, i.e. an item of equipment catalogue. Secondly, define creating equipment returns form on the basis of the existing document, equipment receipt form. OK. Close. Then make appropriate procedures to describe what attributes should be filled automatically during the creating based on. Open the module of the equipment receipt form document and create event handler for procedure of filling. So one can create equipment receipt form on the basis of pump. Therefore, the filling data parameter will include a reference to the pump. It means that appropriate document attribute equipment must be filled by data from equipment catalog. I can just drag and drop the required attribute from the configuration tree almost without typing. When you enter names of built-in variables or operators, you can use context help. Just start typing the name and then press Ctrl and spacebar. The platform will show you a tip or finish the name automatically. I choose filling data. Close module. Now for the equipment returns form, we also describe filling algorithm for creating based on action. This document is created on the basis of the equipment receipt form. Therefore, the data should include the reference to the equipment receipt form document. Hence, to the client attribute, we have to write filling data, property, client, and the same for equipment. Equipment attribute equals filling data dot equipment. Warehouse attribute equals filling data dot warehouse. Close object module. Finally, for warehouses catalog, select Quick Choice option. This means now we will choose warehouse not from our own form but from a small drop-down list. Let's test it. Suppose Pump Factory gives us another pump with serial number 7744. Write object to database. Note that catalog window contains new button. Create based on. Let's create new document on the basis of this pump. Create based on equipment receipt form. The pump model is already substituted in the document. Choose a client, Pump Factory, and select it. Now it remains to select a warehouse from a small list, main warehouse. Is everything okay? Probably not. Firstly, when we receive a pump for repair, we want to check whether this pump has already been repaired previously. It's useful to avoid adding it into the database again. Secondly, a set of links on the left does not look very good. And thirdly, in most cases, we will take pumps for repair in the main warehouse. So it would be a good idea to choose main warehouse item in the new document by default during the creating new document. Go back to the designer. Let's start from the end. Expand the equipment receipt form. Open the properties of warehouse attribute and choose fill value the predefined item of warehouse catalog that we created directly in the configuration. Do the same in the other document, equipment returns form, attribute, properties, fill value, and main warehouse. So one problem is solved. The field will contain main warehouse item in all new documents. To do the rest, let's create desktop and customize its interface. I think the list of pumps, equipment, must be on my desktop. To do this, I create a list form of the equipment catalog. Catalog, equipment. Right-click Forms, add catalog list form, finish. Make no changes in form and close it. And then place this form of the equipment catalog on the desktop. To do this, open the editor of Desktop Workspace. Let's use single column, and this column will display the only form, list form of the equipment catalog. OK. Now open Desktop Command Interface. Switch off the equipment catalog because it is already on the desktop as a form, and move the clients and warehouses catalogs into the navigation pane to the See Also group. Create a new warehouse link on the Action panel. OK. Let's test changes. Create warehouses on the Action panel sounds strange. Fix it. Go back to Designer. Catalogs. Double-click Warehouses. Object Presentation. Type Warehouse. Test. Create warehouse. Looks better? Click a new warehouse created. Very good. Look at the navigation panel on the left. Equipment receipt form and equipment returns form. In fact, there are links to documents. In both cases, I see not a single document, but a list of several documents. So let's correct these captions. List presentation, accept to repair, and extended list presentation. Equipment receipt forms. Do the same with the other document. List presentation, return from repair, and extended list presentation, equipment returns forms. Close and test. Looks much better now. Accept to repair, equipment receipt form. Return from repair, equipment returns form. And desktop has appeared with a list of pumps, equipment catalogue, so I can search items by serial numbers. Very good. Let's try to receive a couple of pumps into repair. Suppose a client came to our country office and brought the pump with the serial number 984. I try to find the equipment with this serial number first. It doesn't exist, and I create a new one. Let's create equipment receipt form based on this pump now. Client. He said his name is Johnny Cake. This client does not exist. Create him. I create new client and select him. But the database doesn't contain regional warehouses yet. So I create it with the help of a button that I defined on the desktop. I create new warehouse, regional warehouse. Now I can select this warehouse from the drop-down list. Regional warehouse. Mr. Cake's cottage is very close to it, and so he goes to our regional warehouse. Choose date, the 7th. We will repair his pump within a week and return it to him on the 14th. But on Monday Johnny brought the pump back because the pump broke down again. OK, take it to repair once more. Date, the 16th. Post and close. Now look at our report. Create it. Choose only the first grouping level with the help of the pop-up menu. The report shows that during this month we have repaired one pump for Pump Factory and one for a private customer. In so doing, 2 pumps are under repair, 1 pump from each client. Expand the groups and see more detailed information. 2 pumps for Pump Factory and only 1 pump for a private customer. This is because Johnny brought the same pump twice. Note that we can change the period of the report right in its form because we added them to Quick User Custom Settings. This report is good for the manager, but not very good for the foreman or the engineer or technician, because for the engineer or technician it's much more important to see what pumps are under repair at any given moment. The existing report doesn't answer this question so clearly. So let's create another version of this report. Close it. Go back to the designer. Find our report. Open Data Composition Schema of this report and go to the Settings tab. Options of this report are now on the left. Now the only option, Default, is available. Let's clone this existing option. Rename it to Equipment Under Repair. Then deselect Beginning of Period parameter and remove it from User Custom Settings. Then set the end of period equal to beginning to tomorrow and also remove it from the Quick Custom Settings. Go to Selected Field tab. Here I remove all selected resources aside from the ending balance and set title for this field Quantity. And finally, let's define a filter. I choose that balance at the end of period must be not equal to 0. OK. Look, Reports, select Variant, Equipment Under Repair, Create. It's much better now, but the report doesn't have a title yet, and I think the information about the period is not so important for the engineer or technician. Fix it. Open the designer, go to the Other Settings tab and switch off Data Parameter Output. Do not output. Set title, Equipment Under Repair. And finally, select the appearance template, C. OK? Run 1C Enterprise. Reports. Create. Now the second variant of the report looks fine, and to summarize, all the applied solution as a whole looks neat, simple and understandable. If you prefer, you can improve it and make it more complicated. That's all, and thank you for watching this demonstration.